Before we get started, I do need to apologize. Sometimes my energy be low because I be trying to chill, and I told Laws before, like an hour ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be nicer this year. So I tried to be nice. Y'all be in my DMs, y'all be super upset, and I'm sorry about that. I really don't know why y'all be upset. I really don't do shit. You know, the joke about everything is you have to be comfortable on a podcast with being wrong and being corrected.
Yep.
And you don't have to double down like Alex Jones did. This man, bruh, you say something so insensitive, and then you double down. You get pushback, and then you double down again. Now, let me ask you something. For those who not know, Alex Jones was talking about Sandy Hook. He said it was actors down there.
Kept doubling down on it.
Doubling,
over and over and over.
Quadrupling. And then, so now the payout is for like, it's like a minimum $4 million that he got to pay out. He
went up to like 43.
Yeah, it went up to 43. The joke is he said, "Yo, if I get hit with anything more than $2 million, my business is done."
I think that was the point.
Yeah, and then it's like, bruh, like, we don't believe you, but we're gonna try you. And then let me ask you this: is that a threat to freedom of speech?
No, because all right, when you're outright lying, you no longer have the protections of freedom of speech. Like freedom of speech just means that the federal government won't come in, or local governments won't just come in and arrest you for what you say. Right? Yeah. But there's always consequences for your actions. Right? It's the reason why you can't yell fire, in a movie theater. Right? So that's an offense. So, but we are ardent supporters of freedom of speech.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I do believe everybody should be allowed to say what they want to say, and that's whether I disagree with you or agree with you. Right? Bigots, feminists, misandrists, everybody should be allowed to say what they want to say.
Facts.
Now, when you get a response to that, though,
you got to be cool with getting punched.
You got to be cool with it, right? Like you got to be cool with it, right? We had posted the clip of like the alpha beta clip, right? And then somebody called us beta males, in the comment section.
I thought that was funny.
It was funny, right? But but for a moment, I'm like, well, you kind of missed the point, and I could want to call you a name, but that's not gonna fix anything because we're the pod.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like the only thing you can really do is just be like, yo, thanks. It's like,
yo, let me tell you what's fun about this pod. When people come at you, you have to remember, I represent the pod and Mike to an extent, right? And so I have to say, all right, I don't want Mike to have to go to work or to be out in the grocery store and have to answer for my actions, or
vice versa.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I know Mike. Mike temper is shorter than mine. I'm going to let y'all know that now. So he's going to give you a little bit less leash than I will, because I sit there and listen to you. Mike going to tell you shut up, and he going to keep moving. And then I have to think about it. I'm like, damn. They don't know us.
They don't know us. So you have to constantly remind yourself, right? And we just take a flight. Like we literally have just left the tarmac.
Absolutely.
But the plane is lifting. We shit's about to take off.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yo, we have to be comfortable with, if here's the thing. If I give you a number and I say 72%, right? And then you come back and you're like, well, it's 67%, right? The point remains.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, the number's off a little bit. Cool, bet. That's math. We're not engineers on the pod, right? No. We're just here, to discuss, the numbers and like what happens, and honestly, to open up this field of black male studies. So come in the comment section and say what you want. The only thing that I can't stand is misandry. That's it. Now, if you disagree, that's fine. If you want to say, Mike, you have a big head, look, I have heard every big head joke. You're going to have to really do well.
Absolutely.
To get ahead of, some of my favorites that I've been called.
Oh, yeah. I love when y'all think I'm white and bald. That my favorite thing, and it used to piss me off so much. Yeah. The skin stuff, that don't bother me no more. Yeah. I've been dealing with that since elementary. You're not going to say nothing funnier than what I've heard.
Exactly, right?
Calling me bald does piss me the fuck off. I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I be looking like, yo, man, and then I come in here looking rough, and then I understand it's blonde, and I'm like, yo, that gets on my nerves. Speaking of the pod taking off, I want to shout out. I don't know if they want people to know that they be listening. Shout out to my wedding couple that came in yesterday. I'm sitting there. So for those who not know, I am a wedding photographer. I'm a photographer, but I do weddings, and I'm sitting there.
One of the best photographers, actually.
Absolutely. In the city. Please check me out. I don't want to.
Southeast.
Absolutely. See, thank you. And so that's why you need good friends and family around you. And so I'm sitting there and my client goes, yeah, I listened to the pod. And so I'm like, I'm sorry. I know it's ignorant. You know, I started my photography podcast and they go, no. They go, no. We talking about Black Dads Club. I'm like, wait, what? And it threw me off. And then afterwards, because shout out, it started raining yesterday.
Yeah.
We sat down and we talked about me, the bride and the groom. We started to talk about the pod. And one of the biggest things is they told me they was happy that we was talking about how expensive it is to be a father, so people won't go out here, and they will be more conscious about just spreading their seeds, right? Yep. And then the wife, shout out to Quita. I don't know if you wanted me to say that, but I'm gonna say your name. And that's not your government, so we cool. And she goes, men and women have to do better at communicating because we'll learn more. And I thought that was so important for her to say that because she wasn't saying, hey, I agree with everything y'all say, or I disagree with everything y'all say. And shout out to everybody that listen to this with their wives or their girlfriends.
Yeah, big ups.
Good luck, too.
Good luck. Hey, listen separate so y'all can double our numbers. Matter of fact, please follow us on all major platforms.
Look at my boy right here.
This week, if y'all could, everybody send this out to 3 people. Let's see if we can get our pod numbers up.
Absolutely.
So we can go ahead and get these sponsorships and get on the road and do live shows and stuff that y'all like. My bad. Go ahead and finish.
But it was funny listening to her saying, yo, we got to communicate. And she says that, and you write the battle of the sexes in our group chat.
Yeah, is it going nuclear?
And I was thinking of it, and she was stressing to me in this meeting, like, yo, we have to learn to communicate. Because, they're getting married and, they have children and it's just listening to them. And she was just saying communication will go a long way.
Not only will it go a long way, but again, so as men, we've given so many of our responsibilities away, right? And part of our responsibility is that, like, yes, women are the transmitters of culture, right? Because women are going to nurture the kids at their youngest age. But the standard of discipline in that house comes from the man.
Absolutely.
Right? Like that ideal. So as a man, if you over respond to everything, everybody in the house is going to over respond to everything. Right. So you're going to have to really be able to embrace it. That's why one of the biggest things that we talk about on this pod is what masculinity is, right? It's not macho. It's not macho violence. It is the ideal of care, grace, and mercy, right? If you build on those tenets, then what happens is everyone understands that at worst, at minimum, if I'm having a bad day, I can come to this individual, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what we want, right? We want our women to come to us and talk to us. We want our children to come to us and talk to us. But we got to make ourselves, make ourselves available emotionally.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that black men are emotionally unavailable, but what we are is constantly derided. Right. So we have to have this idea. So it's almost like we're playing defense all the time.
Absolutely.
Like as a black man, like you're constantly playing against the ideal of being the boogeyman. Like I think we had sent the Yale study, which we ain't gonna be able to get to it today. But we're talking about, like how they view young black kids. Like this was preschool, right?
Yes.
And it was like they got 168 teachers, and they got all the teachers to look at the black kids, right? And look at all the kids, right?
Yes.
And they had a black male kid there, black female kid there, white male kid, white female kid. Not sure they had Asian, Hispanic, but they were like all the teacher eyes. They told the teachers to watch the kids for any of them to acting out.
Absolutely.
Right? Now the thing is, they didn't tell the teachers that none of the kids were acting up.
Yeah.
Right. But they just studied their eyes to see where would they look on the screen. The screen would see where their eyes, what child they was looking at. They all, like 67% or between 60 and 70%, were all looking at the black kid, right? So I actually emailed the doctor on that study because I wanted to know. I was like, hey, could you send me out a chart of the teacher's gender and the teacher's race and how they voted? Because what I want to know is if there was any black male teachers, do we also fall into that?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like, do we fall into this ideal of thinking less of ourselves? Do we fall into this ideal that we are the problems? And honestly, that's how we made the pivot in the podcast, because we just got sick of keep hearing that we're the problems. And it's like, all right, well, let's dive into it, right? And we bought into the idea.
Absolutely.
Start diving into the numbers.
Well,
and embarrass ourselves.
Mike, the numbers are fake. According to all the women online, when I tell y'all that we married, blah, 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 y'all tell me I'm lying. You tell me that everybody is filling out the census wrong, so I just say
yeah, of course, right. Involuntarily lying. Anyways.
Before we get started, because you got to find the video, right?
Yeah, we got it up.
Let me ask this. What age were you when you had your first male black teacher?
First male black. I had a music teacher. So if we count music teacher, that would probably be, it was elementary school. So okay. Second, third, fourth, fifth grade. Mr. Peoples was my music teacher.
Shout out to Mr. Peoples.
He was a weird guy. But but he was cool though. He was cool. but like first teacher like in the classroom.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand, I came from a majority black county.
Absolutely.
And my first black male teacher was high school.
Damn.
That was Coach Jackson. That was my first black male teacher. Now, some people had black male teachers prior because they had I'm forgetting our social studies teacher's name. Guys, I've been out of high school for damn near 25 years, so forgive me. But he was like 9th, 10th grade social studies. So, but to that point though, there's not a ton of black male teachers, and I don't know. I mean, some of these answers to helping young black men probably is black men showing up in spaces that we get to interact with black men, right?
At the youngest age that we can.
But it comes down to pay, right?
Facts. Well,
so it's like, because we don't earn enough money, and we got to get to the point to where we can practice, hypergamy. Like the only thing that I give to every study is, as black men, we just don't make enough money. That's the truth, and that we have to work on. Every place else, we're the gold medalist men, but when you're in a society that's capitalistic,
it's tough.
You're going to have to make more money. Like, we got to do better there. And part of that is just stop having these babies out of wedlock, man.
Yeah, a lot of stuff will stop there. A lot of stuff is getting in our homes. A lot of stuff is like understanding the type of women that you're with.
Yes.
In pivoting when it's necessary to say, all right, this is going to work, and understanding
what's for fun and what's for real, bro. And we got to get good at that.
Yeah, we do. And shout out to Mr. Hayes. That was my third grade math teacher. And I just remember I never understood why my mom and dad eyes lit up when they walked in that classroom and saw that he was my teacher. I didn't get it, and I was lucky. Me and you both grew up in a household where our dads were actually in the house, but I never understood, like, damn, why my mom and dad so happy that my teacher, he's a black man. All right, cool. I see a black man every time I go home.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older and I realize if I would have known, hey, Gavin, this would be one of two black male teachers that you would have, and the next one is not coming to the 10th grade.
Yes.
And you are only going to have that one for 2 months, then I wouldn't understand.
And then you got to understand, it's like, you're constantly in a society where you're having to overperform, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's overperform to not express yourself, whether it's overperform to if you have to show to the top of the class, right? You don't get as many chances. So it's the overperformance of not being able to make mistakes. Which means that, when we get to college, we're not probably taking risky majors because we understand that, I only get one shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I fell out of school, I don't get to take two years off and come back.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have one shot. So I might want to take a computer science, degree course, but I was weak in math. And let me tell you guys something, because we are going to talk way more about STEM coming up on the second half of the season, because again, we got to make more money.
Yeah.
but let me tell you guys something about like engineers and STEM and architects. They will all tell you that they were all bad in math.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing: if you're good in math, you become a mathematician.
Absolutely.
Everybody else struggles.
Absolutely.
Right. So we don't even have this ideal that I can get in a class and I can struggle, right? Because if we think like, if I can't come in there and make an A, if I can't make a B+, then I'm not going to be a good engineer. Bro, I have talked to so many individuals that have went into STEM fields, and they were just like, I'm
going to tell you.
I sucked.
I'm going to put it like this. I studied computer software in college. My GPA is probably barely over 2.0. That's the main reason why I can't go to grad school, because they always ask me for that. And I'm like,
you've been out long enough now. They don't care anymore.
Yeah, they don't care. And I remember, though, I was talking to a black woman at Chapel Hill because I was thinking about going to grad school, and she said, it won't matter with your major. And she said, did they talk to you when you signed up for that major? And I said, actually, they did, yes. And I told her, I said, I remember my first year in school, my advisor, he was actually one of my teachers, and he said, look, your GPA does not matter in this field. He said, give that up.
Yeah.
He told us his GPA was a 2.7. He was like, GPAs do not matter. He's like, I'm a doctor now, whatever. He said, give that shit up. And he said, because if you learn what you need to learn, he said, I can guarantee you can leave here making six figures as soon as you walk across that stage.
Yep.
He said, some of y'all are going to drop out in a year or two because somebody's going to offer you 70, 80 grand to come work for them, and you're just not going to see the need to be in school. He said, and when you get there, they're going to say, hey, we'll pay for you to go back. He said, give it up. So yes, absolutely. Especially if you get in computer science,
if you get anything, computer science, engineering, database, developing, get this through your head that you don't have to make an A in those courses.
Absolutely.
You don't. You can fail forward in those courses, man.
Shout out to falling forward, all right, where does video look? This is where the pod actually starts.
I know, right? We just ran it. This is why we used to be called a stir fry.
Absolutely.
They tell us about you guys, and they tell us about the Queen of England, and they tell us a bunch of stuff that has no significance to us, that shows us that puts in our head that, look, we have no power and all we are is inferior to these people. I also want the truth of our history before slavery. And before the white man came, and before all that, to be the real history that's told. This is not how it always was. Some people came here and lied to you and took the crown off your head and told you that you were a slave, when really they came here and met you as a king.
All right, that's Burna Boy, one of my favorite artists. Hey, congrats to y'all finally catching up with Afro beats.
Yeah,
I'll be moving on to something else later.
You definitely was talking about Afro beats.
Man, I've been on it, man. I love my people.
I was like, what the hell is that?
I love my people, man. But that was Burna Boy, and he said something that was really important there, man. Is that again, there's this idea where we have to start beating back these narratives, right? So one of the things that I realized is that we are one of the first podcasts that is in the black male studies arena.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I ain't one of the first. We might be the only one.
Yeah, because the rest of y'all are not consistent. But
yeah, because we might be the only one that's in this black male studies space. And one of the things that I have to fight back is this ideal of, as black men, are we the boogeyman? As black men, are we a part of the patriarchy? We're not going to dive into that today. But to go back to our earlier point where we were saying, it's like, hey, as black men, we don't have enough money. We don't make enough money, right?
Facts.
And yes, we do need to earn more money. But some of this is systemic, right? So I don't want any of us to beat ourselves up because you're making $40,000, you're making $60,000, you're making $70,000. Once you get beyond $70,000, you're actually doing okay in this country. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not doing okay. It's like only 15% of this country is making more than $70,000.
Look, if you're not doing okay after 70, lower your expenses.
Yes.
Somewhere you're overspending.
Trade the Beamer in.
Thank you. Look.
Stop, take the credit card payments down. Like,
please.
Yes, you will be okay. Something I had to learn myself, by the way. Like, I was actually very guilty of having super high expenses.
Ask Laws today. I was working on my finances. As soon as he came in, he was like, what are you doing? I'm like, breaking this shit down.
Yeah. So, but I want to go through to why we don't have our generational wealth, right?
Uh-oh.
So, two parts. I'm going to give you two parts of this, right? So, story time, all right? World War II, black men went off to war, right?
Okay.
Whole world was at war. There was, at this point in time, there's only 15 million blacks in this country.
Okay.
Like, that's it. Just 15 million blacks, men, women, boy, girl, right? Only 15 million. Over 2.5 million black men went to war. Right.
Okay.
So this is roughly, I mean, my math might be bad here, 15-20% of the black male population.
Yeah.
Shit, maybe the population, right?
Well, yes, it's about.
So 10% of 15 million would be 1.5 million. So we're talking about 15-20%. Yeah, of blacks actually participated in World War II, and we don't know. And the overwhelming majority of those are going to be men at this time, right?
Yeah.
So when all these men came back from World War II, none of them was allowed to get GI Bills. Not only were none of them allowed to get GI Bills, none of them was, because also coming out of World War II, you was allowed to go to college, basically free. Like college was like $30 a semester back then.
Yeah. Let's go back.
Black GIs could not go to any PWIs, and if you didn't have an HBCU in your area, guess what? You're not going to college, right?
Absolutely.
So these men were not, and PWIs are everywhere.
Absolutely.
HBCUs aren't everywhere.
Absolutely.
They're more so now, it seems that way because of interstates. But you got to remember, this is also pre-interstate era. Well, pre-interstate era the way we know it today.
We got one in our city.
Yeah.
Still.
So it's like they couldn't really get to these institutions. So, long story short, out of the 2.5 million black men that serve, I want to say about 8 to 10 million men serve, right? So black men was about 20 to 25% of the wartime, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody else, white males, received about $33 billion in GI bills and aid. Now, you got to remember, houses at this time are running somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000 to $4,000.
Yep.
Right? So basically, they all got houses.
Yeah.
A vast majority of them received education. All right? Black men did not. This is the first place, it's the first place under the apartheid heading into the civil rights movement where we did not receive any financial benefits. All right? Now, that's just the GIs. To the regular people that actually stayed home, in the 1940s and 50s, the FHA would give white folks home because they was getting people into homes. Because remember, this is coming out of the recession.
Absolutely.
So they were able to take out first home owners loans on homes, to whereas blacks were denied, not even by and large, pretty much just in general.
Yeah, just in general.
All right. Those homes that they bought, if they kept those homes went from being worth, $4,000 to being worth up to $500,000, right?
Absolutely.
So both places where black males would have had an opportunity to show up and buy homes, you were not allowed to.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are pretty much the first generation that's free.
Yeah.
To do these things. Mm-hmm. So when we kind of like bang on the table like, yo, you got to make more money. Yo, we're like the first free generation. You are literally having to do what your grandfathers would have done for you.
Yeah, and they didn't have the opportunity.
They didn't have the opportunity, which is why anytime y'all come with this bullshit narrative that your grandfather has oppressed y'all grandma, like real talk, that misandry shit, there's only one thing I will block you from our page from. It's only one. Misandry's bullshit. Because I cannot take, right? It might even be a small deal. I don't know. It triggers me though. So I'm gonna admit to y'all that when you come to me with misandrous bullshit, I am going to block it. Because I'm not gonna be triggered on my own page. You could call me names, you could talk about whoever. Like you can do anything you want, just don't touch me, right? Short of that. But when you come with that misandrous BS, man.
He said you out of here.
You out of here. You gone. No lie.
It was this past weekend, I had the opportunity to go hang out with my grandparents. This is the same grandfather who I've told y'all gave me a warning when we was going to see one of his homes in Florida that it might be KKK flyers on. And I thought he was joking until he looked me in the eye and said, I'm serious. And I was just like, yo, it's 2000 and at this time, probably like 15. I'm like, ain't no way. Anywho, but, I was talking to my grandma and she said, hey, if you get some time, I want you to go to the country and take a picture of this place for me. And she said, it's a store. I just want pictures of it. And so later I sat with her and she said, I wasn't able to go, too much running around. And she said, the reason why I wanted you to go, she said, that was your grandfather's store and they took it.
Wow.
And she said, that store and the land that it's on is going to be some money one day.
Woo.
She said, but I wanted pictures just as a reminder, but I wanted you to see it.
Yeah.
And just understand that place that's still operating, it was your grandfather's store, but they took it. And she didn't say who they was. I think it was just implied.
Yeah, it is definitely implied and definitely sounds like your grandfather's part of the patriarchy that was oppressing black women, right?
Okay.
That's what it sounds like, right? That's obviously not what it sounds like. Obviously, I'm being flippant and sarcastic.
Somebody gonna be like,
I'm saying this for our audience.
Absolutely.
That hate listens. Yep. And I appreciate those hate listens, by the way.
Absolutely, man. What else we got here today?
All right, so we're gonna go into. So last week we talked about the arc, right? Adoration, respect, celebration.
They ain't like that either.
They don't like anything we do when we try to big up our brothers, man.
Absolutely, they ain't like Mike.
But so this idea, I was like, yo, like the triple C's for girlfriends, right? Mm-hmm. Cooperative, compassionate, considerate, right?
Absolutely.
Like, that's how you find a girlfriend. But a wife The wife has to adore you, respect you, and celebrate you. Mm-hmm. The adoration, they were just like, right? So then we was like, the celebration, like, so, all right.
They be on it.
They be on it, man.
Mike said that's how y'all sound.
That is exactly how y'all sound to me. So maybe in real life you sound different, but to me, that's how you sound. So anyway, there was this article, right, and it talked about how you have long lasting marriages, right? And this is one of the parts from the article. It says we shouldn't have to accept raised voices, passive aggressive behaviors, or periods of emotional withdrawal. However, as our partners figure out how to do life and be better, we will be forced to be present with and for those things. All right. You should not have to deal with this, but in marriages, in relationships, you're going to have to learn how to deal with these things, right? So we always talk about to men like, yo, sometimes you just got to eat it, bro, right? Like there's no way for that woman to learn how to do better if you just respond to how she reacts.
Facts.
There's no way, right?
Facts.
We spent 50 years following the feminist bullshit playbook, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work in black homes. Maybe it works in other homes, but culturally, the way we was raised, like African culture is all about family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it doesn't work. There's always equality in the family, but there's always roles.
Absolutely.
You could disagree. You could talk about what, however you want, but you do have to understand that you have to understand that you got to be able to have a conversation, which means that you have to be willing to exchange ideals, even if you disagree with those ideals, and you have to be willing to consider the other person's point of view. If you're listening to respond, you're not going to have a good time in the conversation.
Absolutely not.
If you're having a bad faith argument,
absolutely,
you're not going to have fun in the conversation. I told y'all, don't even engage in bad faith arguments.
Nah, you got to learn. I remember one time I was talking to my dad about something. He's talking to me about him and my mom. And for those not know, my parents got married like too young, right? Yeah. My mom 18, my dad's 20, too young. I don't know how, but it was funny. But he told me at that time, and I was telling him about me and this girl, this young lady, we going through something. And he looked at me. He said, "You do understand that at this time we were, let's say we was 27 or something." And he said, "You do know you're talking to somebody who's been raised and trained in her family for the last 26 years to be this way, and you're thinking she's going to switch just like that." Woo! And he was like, "That's your problem.
Yep.
You got to understand that this person that has been ingrained," and he brung it back to me. He said, "Look, when I met your mom, she had 18 years where her dad, her mom, this worked in their household. Yep. So in her life, she became accustomed to these behaviors, this lifestyle, things of that nature." He said, "Same with me as a man. For 20 years, my mom, my father, whoever allowed me to be this way." He said, "Now I'm coming in, y'all coming together." He said, "Look, you got to understand that person you got 20 something years of undoing. Of
undoing. And so let's go back to the art, right? That's the respect part, right?
Absolutely.
So that respect part is, understanding that, like, you know what? I might disagree with you, but I respect you too much to take it personally, right? I respect you too much to say, all right, I don't want to listen to you. And so to hop back into the article, it says couples that last know how to recognize the good. See, y'all hated the celebrate part, right? Yeah. Y'all hated that. Celebrate. Why I gotta celebrate? You know what I'm saying? That's couples that last know how to recognize this. As men, we're doing a bad job at choosing mothers of our children.
Okay.
That we're doing a terrible job at that. That's part two. Part one is we should want to marry the women that we have kids with. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the first part. Like if we stop having kids out of wedlock, and then if we actually made sure that the women that we decide to have kids with adore us, respect us, and celebrate us, we change our community, bruh, in a 20, 30-year period. But I want to go to this last part. This is in an article. Now this is crazy. This is how Facebook fucking algorithm listens to everything. I didn't even go look for this article. It just showed up in my feed, right?
They showed me titties in my feed, but go ahead.
Hey, man, my Instagram is lit. My Instagram. I got a problem.
Look.
I got a problem. my Discover, oh, Lord. Woo! All right, let's go back into it. All right, couples that last know how important it is to celebrate successes. Mm-hmm. All right, too often we encourage to take granted times when our partners are patient because that's what they're supposed to be, right? Thanks. As men, especially, definitely like good black men, you are taken for granted. Like, and then when you're not taken for granted, you're used as a boogeyman. Yeah, I get it. It's frustrating. It's tiresome. That's why it's so important to make sure that you have a woman in your life that's providing you with the adoration, the respect, and the celebration you need. Mm-hmm. Bruh, like, it is a tough life as a black man. I'm not telling your grandfathers were absolutely robbed, right?
Yeah,
and then
they was tired.
And then we are the grandkids or the children of the first freedmen in this country, right? And then we're told by immigrants that come to this country, right? Uh-oh. You know, we're told by immigrants that come to this country that we have every opportunity in the world.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Despite the fact that every freedom that they have is directly tied
absolutely
to us, right?
Facts.
So I get how frustrating it is. I get how tiresome it is. Man, we got to catch our second win.
I will put it like this: when you get that type of woman, yo, please treat her right. Woo! Because I look at it. First of all, I understand, and ladies, maybe just a little pandering, but I'm gonna give it to y'all so y'all don't call me sexist. I understand.
Love the pander.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do understand how y'all get caught up in the I don't understand why I gotta stroke a man's ego. Let me tell you something. You stroking a wrong man's ego. It's a dude who don't deserve it. It's a dude who don't deserve you. It's a dude who don't even like you. But you're there for a reason. I'm going to blame it on you want the experience, but I'm going to leave that alone. And I will say this. When you get that man and you say, all right, it's not even stroking his ego. It is becoming celebrated.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And because
it is being celebrated. Absolutely.
At halftime, it makes men uncomfortable. Right?
Yeah, because we're not used to it.
Absolutely. When my girl tells me, yo, you're doing a great job. When my wife comes to me and tells me how dope I did on the shoot, I'm just like,
what do you want?
What you want? Like, where you trying to go?
Yeah, where you want to go to?
Go ahead and go. I get to watch the TV tonight. Like, cool. You know what I'm saying? But then also, I understand how she is, and I celebrate her as well.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You came to my wife event. Bro, I talked to her for days about how dope that was for the event she had for the community. And I was just
that was dope. That was dope. Rena, if you listening, that event was dope.
That is dope.
And we're not pandering. It actually was a dope event.
Absolutely. But, I was able to be with her and celebrate her for that. So I always keep that in mind. And you always got to treat that woman right. And like you said, if you got to follow up with her, you know what I'm saying? Marry that woman, take care of that woman.
We gotta marry and have kids with the good women, man, and we're not doing that. Like we're just being honest, we're just not.
Nah.
Yeah, we are chasing the Brittany Renners, bro.
Shout out to Brittany if you search her.
Yes, if you search Brittany Renner on podcast, we actually come up on the first page.
Brittany, you might as well come and sit down. We got two yellow chairs. You can sit by me and Mike. Mike will probably prefer you to sit by him. Or no, we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, shout out to Brittany. You can bring your homegirl too.
Definitely bring Tiana.
Yeah.
Definitely bring Tiana.
Look, and Brittany, you ain't coming on here to throw no water on nobody. I'm going to go ahead and let you know that right now. Sis.
Oh, yeah. We call the cops right here.
Yeah.
We do not play them games.
Look, you going to be
Hey, fellas, real talk. Let's hop back into that. Yo, if you are abused, bruh, get out of that relationship and call the cops, bro.
Please call the police, dog.
Dude, my homegirl called me yesterday. I probably should not be talking about this. Anyway, she was telling me she was out with one of her colleagues, and there was a dude that he captained. He simped out.
Okay,
right? got a little baddie stare with him, man. She moved in like his mom and his sister while he was on a business trip. So he come home, he upset. They get into it, bro. He gets kicked out of his own house.
What?
Got kicked, bro. I laughed for like 15 minutes, man. Look, women do what they supposed to do with marks. If you're a mark ass dude, look, I don't care. I do not care when these women abuse y'all financially.
That's why I like when I go to a strip club and then they talking to me and they tell me like, got him.
Hey, yeah. You're a mark, man. I have no sympathy for simps, bro. But like, I laughed. When I tell you, I laughed for like 10 minutes. She was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Are you crying over there?" I was like, "Yo." So he got kicked out of. Now I'm not laughing at domestic but I don't think it was a domestic. Like that's another thing. We ain't even gonna talk on that today. But anyway, I wasn't laughing at that. I was laughing at the fact that he simped out and he got kicked out of his own house for 6 months, bro.
Absolutely.
Had to still pay the bills and everything over there. Anyway, speaking of marriage and moving in.
Oh gosh.
Bruh, did you see where everybody was going in on the sister that got married to the dude? What he posted on Instagram, and he more or less was like, yo, didn't have to do any fancy dates, didn't have to do anything. Okay. It was just a straight connection.
Okay.
Now we're married.
Okay.
Bruh, sisters ate that shit up in the comment section. It was so rude.
What you mean?
It was so rude. Dude, they were saying that it was struggle love. They were saying that, he was cheap. They were saying that they wish better for sis. So let me ask you a question. Like,
okay.
To everyone that was saying they wish better for sis, right?
Okay.
So if a woman meets a man, like, what is the goal? Is the goal marriage or is the goal to be a kept woman? What's the goal now? Because maybe we all just are confused, right? I don't think that the goal should be to be a kept woman. Like this kept woman idea, this soft life idea, like, this is coming from Mr. Hypergamy, by the way. This idea that you should just sit home and just do nothing, right? That has never been the overwhelming majority of women. That has only been a super small percentage.
Why you do this?
Of very, very beautiful women.
I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Me and Mike get into arguments off air. And so Mike is pushing me to get in this argument of Mike have expectations of these young ass chicks and he don't think, we know what's up. There's a small percentage of
beautiful
women.
Okay, look, I'm conceding that beautiful women should be taken care of.
Because one of your girls moved and her bed is on the floor. But she in a different city and she having fun.
Yeah, I ain't really feeling her no more.
Yeah, her bed was on the floor. I felt so bad. I was like, damn, y'all gotta stop.
But even she was not qualified as a kept woman. Like, why do we pretend that we don't know what a kept woman looks like?
Yeah. It's like it's certain women. Damn, where was I at, man? Me and my mother-in-law was talking about this. Oh no, I was going to pick up my mother-in-law. We was listening to something and it was talking about women who, when they come to certain men, they say, hey, this is my expectations. And nothing's wrong with, you have to understand when that woman comes to you, say, hey, I don't plan on working. I do plan on staying at home. I don't plan on, and not only do I plan on staying at home, and not only am I not planning on working, I do plan on living a certain lifestyle. Bruh, you got to understand what that means. If you can't afford that, you need to leave that woman alone.
No, absolutely, right?
And so when I speak to certain women,
do the 4s and 5s gets to say this now?
No.
That is my point. The 4s and 5s do not get to say that they want to be kept women. They got to participate a little bit more in the relationship.
He said a little bit more. Well, the thing is like, you do get in these situations and
the 10s are home being taken. First off,
ain't but so many 10s though.
Oh no, there isn't, which is why they're gone. 10s are gone by their senior year of college. They're gone.
Yeah, they are.
They gone. You never see them again. They reappear around the age of 30. They're married to a dude that's 45. They got 3 kids, and she's never worked, and she's super taken care of. She looks great. Like,
absolutely.
Let's stop pretending that we don't know that exists. The 9s are next up. As soon as the 10s are gone, the 9s are gone. Up. The 8s might make it to mid-20s, right?
Facts.
The only thing that's really left is the 6s and the 7s.
And it is, sometimes this ain't even on looks. Some of y'all be 8s, but you be so dumb.
Or you rude or you nasty or you mean, right? Like, it's like, it's a lot of things that take you out of there. But this idea, again, I want to get back to this article. What is the goal? This woman is married, bruh.
Look at this shit.
She is married. Yeah. The woman that says that she don't hang out with ugly people. And you know what's funny about that?
I wrote in the comments, Two's got to stop talking.
Dude, her homegirl set her up on this shit, bruh.
Women don't like women. I told y'all that.
Yeah, you do say that all the time, right? Her homegirls hyped her up, let her talk, hyped her up some more, and then clipped it and posted it.
Well, I told y'all women don't like women.
They didn't turn the comments off, though.
I bet you, cuz.
Yes. Why did they turn the comments off,
Because she got lit the hell up.
Because she got lit up because that. So, again, if this woman gets married, right? This 34-year-old successful woman. I think she's like a VP somewhere. Mm-hmm. Dude is a IT security engineer in New York. So he probably makes 140 somewhere in that range, right?
Absolutely.
In New York City,
probably more than that.
She probably makes. I think she makes more than him, right? But they're building the house together. And the sister's beautiful. I'll leave it at that. Mm-hmm. Brother, smooth dude. They got together. They came together. What the fuck is going on in our community? Sorry for cursing, Mom. What is going on in our community to whereas a equally yoked attractiveness couple can get married, right? Mm-hmm. And instantly, there's nothing but misandrous hate in the This was a beautiful moment, man. What is going on in our culture? And what can we do about this as men, right? Because my whole thing is tactical retreat. Back the fuck up. Sorry for cursing, but I'm annoyed right now. Back up and let all these misandrous and incels just eat one another.
Absolutely.
You know, and let us that want to actually build families, let us build our own communities away from them.
This goes back to what Quita said. That might be the title of this, what Quita said. It got to go back to communication. Because at the end of the day, I look at it as like this, at least when I was out there dating, I was asking questions. When it was go time, I was like, it's questions. Now, let me tell y'all when it wasn't go time. When I was on Tinder and I was linking up with people, it wasn't go time because I didn't care, right? Yeah. But I was careful. I didn't care, but I was careful.
Yes.
So there's a difference.
Absolutely,
there, right?
Like,
so,
yeah, like I know what's fun and I know what's for real.
Absolutely. But when it was go time, yes, I asked who's my now wife, yo, what we doing? It was another other girls who I was cool with, but you know, we taking steps further than being, you know, careless. I was like, yo, what's up? And then I realized like, all right, because it is now, and women, y'all do a great job of saying this, even though this is a dad podcast. So let me speak to dad. Yo, whether you a single dad or you're a married dad, we all know there are certain women when you talk to, they have a problem with being told what to do and what's right for them and what's good for them. And I understand that because we as people are all like that. We can't just hop on women being mad about that. Now, the problem is they will tell you. Shorty will tell you she's trying to get married.
Yes.
Shorty will tell you she's a hot girl.
Yes.
You can't stop trying to.
Can't change it, man.
You can't change it. You almost got to shake their hand and say, cool.
Accept the behavior.
Look, either have fun with her or make her your wing girl.
Fun or for real, bro. That has to be key. Because a lot of our frustration, like when I listen to a lot of these other black male podcasts, they're pissed off and they're frustrated, right?
Yeah.
I tell y'all when I'm triggered, right? I told y'all misandrous shit pisses me off. Has nothing to do with the fact that you're a woman, though. It has because a lot of black men are misandrous too, and y'all actually want to put in a bathtub with your head under the water. Those I do, right? But because I do not understand being a black male, being a father to black male children, that you co-sign something that your son is going to have to go through when we can fix this problem now. That's the only. I tell y'all where I'm triggered, right? All right, because that's personal. But this ideal of, you know, how can I put this? Let's just leave it at this. We know we can't change people, right?
Facts.
But I've seen people change.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if someone has not made the decision to change, if somebody has not made the decision to be better, we have to take those people at their words, and we have to stop trying to hope and wish that they become better, right?
Facts.
They have to change, man. They have to change.
Facts. You ready to talk about preferences?
You know what? Let's go into preferences. But before we go there, fellas, low key, real talk. Uh-oh. I think men should wait 90 days to have sex.
Oh gosh, here we go. Steve
No, I think because after reading that article of the beautiful black couple that were getting married. Oh my God, I can't believe y'all was hating on this shit.
I told y'all Mike want to be married.
Yes, I absolutely want to be married, man. Because I want kids, and I only want kids in marriage because kids are expensive and tiring, and I'm getting older.
Facts.
But anyway, that whole section, that whole comment section was nothing but femme sales.
Okay.
All right, it's nothing but femme sales and misandrous.
Okay.
And I think that I think what I need my brothers to do, like do this with me. Y'all got to stop having sex with these women too quick, right?
Okay.
Like when you start thinking that, like, oh man, you know, like I'm gonna miss her, or I'm not gonna get her. All right, I'm not telling y'all not to have sex, right? This is two completely different conversations.
Okay.
All right. You have somebody that you're currently having sex with right now, I'm sure. Some of y'all do. Some of y'all don't.
I do.
Right? And there's professionals out there for these problems.
Okay, cool. Right? Gotcha. I see where we're going now.
But for y'all men that actually have a rotation and, you know, but you're still frustrated because you can't settle down, man, stop forcing this thing. Like when you get out here and date, don't don't try to get rid of the last one by getting the next one, right? Wait 90 days. Like, bro, just trust me on this. Take 90 days before you have sex with a woman. All right?
Okay.
Because by the end of those 90 days, you're gonna find out who she's with, where she's at, right? Because she's gonna establish patterns, and you're gonna be paying attention to those patterns because you're trying to get to her.
Okay.
Right. But be disciplined enough to just give her 90 days for her to show you who she is. Right? Now, during those 90 days, I am not telling you to be monogamous. I'm not telling you to be a hoe. But I am saying, like, yo, keep your options open. Keep recycling whatever it is that you're recycling. Okay. But the new woman, bro, take 90 days, man. Like, take sex off the table and make this woman show you who she really is.
And believe her.
Yes, and believe. Oh, my God. Say that again.
Believe this motherfucker.
Believe
Sorry,
her.
Mom.
All right.
I'm talking about Mike's mom.
Yeah. Sorry, we cursing. All right. Oh, low key. Hey, I think some people thought we was hating on Amon in the clip. We were not hating on Amon. Hey, Amon Shumpert is taking nothing but W's. This dude lived a charmed life. Right now, he went to Georgia Tech. He married Tiana. He ended up with Beautiful. LeBron. Like he takes nothing but W's, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't hate. It's not envy. Much respect. But we got to call it out though. You got to get all your credit, Amon. That was low key simping.
That was low key simping, and I hope the whole jail, everything that's going on, please get that, free Iman to Iman is free. Or free to his background. I don't know what these young kids say. You ever listen to these young kids and you just be like...
I don't listen to these.
See, nope, you got to stop that, Mike. We got to get back. Come on, bro.
Hey, man, we'll get back out there.
Me and Laws we was in here listening to some young boys. They was in here recording on the pod, right? And they was talking about gourmet food, and they was talking about how great the fish fillet at McDonald's was. And they broke that shit down to the very smallest logic of how great the fish fillet was and how one of them make it a double stack. He orders it and gets a double stack fish fillet. He was talking about how it flakes off with the bread. And, bro, it was the youngest conversation ever to be heard.
I kind of fucks with that, though.
And then, look, here go the joke. His homeboy goes, yeah, I like the McRib. And he said, yo, I ain't never been in the trenches that low that I had to eat the McRib. And I was just like, yo, this is some young boy shit. But they were funny.
Hey, I actually like that, man. Shout him out. What's the name of the pod?
I don't know.
All right. We tried. We gave it a go. We gave it a go. All right. Prefaces, man. Prefaces. Let's hop into prefaces today.
Here we go.
All right.
Shout out.
Sex scenes in shows or no? Like, do you prefer sex scenes in shows or no? Now, everyone knows that, like, there's a show right now that there's tons of sex scenes. Yes.
Okay, you talking about P Valley?
We're talking about P Valley.
Okay.
And it starts this conversation because a lot of people are, upset because they don't want the sex scenes that are going on in P Valley. So So there's this ideal. Now, this is not a homo versus hetero conversation.
Yeah.
This is a conversation of, do you like sex scenes in TV shows or movies or not?
I feel like too many sex scenes can ruin the show.
Absolutely.
I don't think P Valley has ruined. They're getting close to ruining the show with sex scenes, but it's not. It's really only been 2 this season. But people are upset because it's 2 homosexual sex scenes. And to be fair, they only showing their faces. But I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, they showing the sex faces and insinuating they're having sex. That's why I don't mind it. Let me tell you what show sex ruined for me. Power. Power got to a point where they were having so much sex that I was just like, it was like the first season was cool because it made sense.
Yes.
Right? And it was sexual.
Yes.
Then by like season 3 or 4, they were just effing to have sex. And I was
it was just like, you're just adding sex scene because people think that such and such is sexy or such and such is sexy. And look, I don't know, like this is a black male podcast, so maybe men look at this differently than women. Like maybe we need to have a woman on the show.
Yeah, maybe.
We need to get our girl Britt on here.
Yeah,
because maybe women do enjoy sex scenes more. Personally, I can do without sex scenes in TV shows. Like I go for sex scenes.
Yeah, I
go to Pornhub.
Shout out to them.
All right, for thrillers and suspense, I don't go to Pornhub
or Tube Safari. Don't ask how I know.
But like that's where I go for sex scenes, man. Like I don't need a story. Like when I want a sex scene, I'm going to watch porn.
You can fade it to black.
All right, when I want suspense and thrillers, and an adventure. I don't go to Pornhub for that, right? Like if Pornhub had a thriller, I'd never watch it.
Absolutely,
it's not why I come there.
Shout out to y'all who put the bootleg movies on Pornhub, and they put it in like you have to go find it. people literally, that's where they put bootleg movies at, bro.
Now, I may start going there for that, but I'm not. But the intention isn't porn though when I watch that.
Does it make you uncomfortable when you see it? Or
it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It really makes me think that the writer thinks I'm stupid. Because I'm already like, it's like you don't trust your writing enough to keep me enthralled. So you're gonna throw some titties out here to try to catch my attention. Like,
okay,
yo, like titties don't do it for me like that anymore.
That's my well, if you see my Explorer page, let me tell you what my issue with P-Valley. Y'all not getting me. This would be probably my last season of watching P-Valley unless I hear Ray.
No, now you got to struggle through it. They can make 7 seasons now. I'm gonna struggle through the fucking end.
Well, the thing is this. Y'all not getting me on P-Valley. Y'all think. First of all, let me put it like this. P-Valley has me upset with its scenes this season because y'all are putting these scenes in here about sex, and the scenes that I'm referring to have been the homosexual ones. The first
but they even have heterosexual ones like Autumn Nights and the Mayor or whatever, right?
Absolutely,
like,
that happened.
It was unnecessary.
It was But let me tell you about the last one. Y'all not getting me because I know y'all doing this shit just for clout.
Exactly.
And so that's
what pisses me off.
The first one, when Uncle Clifford and Young Murder had sex, I didn't mind that one, even though that was the big one that threw everything off. I didn't mind that one because that was supposed to happen in season 1. But we get that, right? And let me tell you, the last season, when y'all having sex at the dinner table and y'all eating Eggo waffles, like right afterwards, y'all stop so bruh can answer the phone just to eat waffles. I knew that shit was thrown in there.
Yeah, and that's my point. It's like, yo, like the writers.
You don't trust your writing. That's what I'm saying.
You don't trust your writing.
You won't get me.
Yeah, I don't.
I seen it too much. I saw it in Scandal when y'all was just throwing random sex in there, and I gave up on that show. You got me on Power. I struggled through that, and I said I won't do it again. You try to get me with Tommy. Y'all was struggling, and
Tommy and Lala, right?
Yeah.
We don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care, man. Like we're watching because we want the storyline, the sex scene. For me, and y'all guys can chime in.
Yeah.
Do you prefer your sex scenes in your TV shows or on Pornhub?
I prefer it on Pornhub.
That's my
or
question.
Tube Safari, and there's some other ones on there, but I'm not gonna give it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a wife.
All right, so here we go, man.
Not that stop watching porn never stops once you get married, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it stops either. But we'll go. We'll talk about it at the end of the season. All right, and then that's pretty much all I got today. I will say this, man. I want to make sure all the dads understand that. Never underestimate your impact because of how we are portrayed in the media, man. I really think black male studies is not a thing. It has to become a thing. I think we're on the front end of this. We're on the cutting edge of it. We're probably the only we're the only black male studies podcast in the world.
Facts.
All right, period, point blank. Make sure y'all follow Dr. Hassan T. Johnson and Dr. Tommy J. Curry, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Follow these two men. These two men are in the cutting edge of the black male manosphere, right? Way better than any of this bull that you've caught online. There's two guys I follow a lot. I read pretty much everything they put out. Mm-hmm. They call out misandry, which is, of course, that's how I found them because what's funny is anytime I receive something, most of the time, it's not from my homeboys because most of my homeboys are busy. This be my homegirls that send me these things, man. So big shouts out to all the positive, beautiful women that are in my life. And I was about to say black women, but a couple of y'all aren't black, so I got to give y'all credit too.
Shout out to the nice women.
Yeah, so shout out to all the women that are in my life, man, that know that this is important to me. Like having black men portrayed in a positive light is super fucking important to me. So, hey, shout out to all the women that understand that. Shout out to all the men that come and listen. And I just want to let you guys know that you don't have to make a difference, every single day. But every single day, you should definitely try to make a difference. That's all you got to do. Like, you don't think you have to, but just give it an attempt. And that in its own will make sure that we are better tomorrow than we are today.
Facts. Hey, and I want to thank y'all for listening. Make sure you review. Share this with 3 people. That's what we asking you to do. Share this with 3 people, man. And we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.